What's up, everybody? Welcome to my world. I am Jeremy Johnson, and this is my world 10, Jeremy's World 10. Yep, we're going to get this right here. And as Austin just keeps laughing behind me, eventually we're going to get this all figured out. And we are having fun upstairs at Weld Tech Designs here in what we're calling the attic. And this is where we're going to be doing a series of podcasts for Jeremy's World 10, as well as for Weld Tech Designs. And you may ask, well, why Jeremy's World 10? And really the thought behind it was, well, welcome to my world. Not saying that I own the world or this world is mine, although I would encourage everybody that the world is yours for the taking through a lot of hard work and dedication. And that's one thing that we're going to really be talking about on this podcast is the hard work that it takes these days to succeed in business. This year is going on 20 years that I have been in business here for Weld Tech Designs. It has not been an easy road by any means. It has been a very, very tough road. And looking back on it, sometimes you question, like, would I do it again? Well, the answer is yes. And the reason it's yes is because where I'm at today with my wife, with my kids, I wouldn't trade that for anything in the world. Not for all the hard lessons learned through all the things that I had to go through in order to get here. That is the most precious thing to me. And you'll see that if you've watched any sort of the Weld Tech Designs videos on YouTube, that I'm always having Caden around, and Caden is my oldest son, and you will definitely be seeing him on this podcast. It'll be a lot of fun. He's a riot. We're going to edit in one of our buttons, his laugh when we had him on the first podcast, which was just a riot. But my World 10, and what that whole concept is trying to achieve your best life. And, and in doing that, you're going to learn so many things. And I'm not saying that my life is perfect, because it is far from perfect, but my goal is to always achieve better, to always do better, to try to learn from everything and everybody. And that's the next thing, is everybody. There's so many people out there offering up great information that is whether it be encouraging information. I mean, like, people that I even love watching is, Gary Vee. I mean, the guy's always got good stuff to say. Andy Frisella, I really love listening to him. And these are some of the people that encouraged me, and just listening to them. Pete Flynn, Sean Cannell, like, I'm really have submerged myself into, watching other YouTube videos and other podcast videos in order to, when I went about doing this, in order to really try to give you guys the best listening experience, the best visual experience that I possibly could, as well as I'm really looking forward to the people that we're going to be talking to in this podcast, people that I say that I would definitely look up to that have succeeded in business, and really find out from these people, well, what would the tips be that you would give to somebody wanting to start their business, or what were some of the hardest lessons learned in your business where you wouldn't do that again. And some of these people have been in business since before we had the internet or before the presence of social media. So it'll be interesting to see from that point of view is what worked for them in business before to what works for them in business now, because this world has completely changed the way that you once advertised. I personally remember doing magazine ads, 2-inch by 2-inch magazine ads in the back of Off-Road magazine in order to try to promote my business. Now, I don't even know to say if that magazine's still around anymore, but now it's completely changed. Now, the good thing about that is what I used to pay for a magazine ad, was probably in the neighborhood of $500. And $500, we're talking back in, 2002, where it was a good bit of chunk of change for me. And now what I look at for that same $500, the way you can put that money to work, whether it be in a Facebook ad, Instagram ad, using it in Google AdWords. You have so much more ability to reach your target market, your demographic. And that is something that I think a lot of new business owners don't know as much about. And I would say even myself, it's always something that I'm trying to learn more about and be better educated on it. So that is the work part of it. Now, the second part of this, what I'm going to call the work-life balance. I mean, we know everybody says that, and that's going to be every entrepreneur's, biggest obstacle. I'm going to tell you, like, your work-life balance in running a business can make or break you. And I know that in the past, it has broken me completely. I've suffered immensely in that because I put my work life before everything else. And now looking back on that, I can see just what a mistake that was. And my goal to succeed ultimately led me to my biggest failures. And so these are things that we'll share with you on this podcast, and really get in, dive down deep into, what I've done, how I've, messed up, how I've succeeded. I mean, there's all kinds of great things that come along with this, to really encourage you, to help you guys. I know, if only my kids watch these podcasts, I will be happy, because they could take the lessons that I'm going to be teaching them in these podcasts in order to succeed in life, because a lot of these things aren't taught in school. So back to that family life now. My family is definitely the most important thing to me. And it took a lot of hard lessons to really realize how important, family is. Even with the loss of loved ones, you really realize, like, man, if I could just have one more day with that person, that would be amazing. And I don't care about all the, the physical things, all the houses and cars and toys and phones that you really care about. Like, it's all meaningless when you don't have, those really special people in your life that make a difference. And so what we're going to be doing is, not only showing you and talking about my kids and what they're doing, but also, I'm gonna sucker my wife into coming on here. I told her again this morning, like, hey, babe, when are you going to come on my podcast? I want you to come and hang out with me for, right now, our 2 watchers that are watching this. But, we're going to have fun with it more than anything. It's a good time. And to me, more than anything, I think what I look forward to is when we come up in here to the attic, we're pretty much eliminating all the distractions in our life. I'm not bringing we'll probably bring the phone up here sometimes in order to take calls and do stuff like that. But really, when it comes down to it, it's almost like that one-on-one time. Like, how often do you spend that one-on-one time with one of your friends, one of your colleagues, that it's just no distractions, just having a genuine conversation about life, about, hey, what's going on? How are you doing? Without, the phone ringing, I got another email. My kids are screaming for me, those sort of things. When we come up here into the attic, it's just a distraction-free work space that we can just hang out and talk about that work-life balance, craziness, what's going on in your life, and just be real. And that's what we hope to bring, that intimateness with you, and just talk to you guys and be like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what we're doing. So in Jeremy's World 10, that's kind of just a brief, rundown. Hopefully I don't drag this on too long, because we want to make sure that you guys are going to come back for episode 2, and 3 and 4. And, at the end of this year, we look forward, if we can do 1 episode a week, and we're already in like the 3rd week of January. So I'm already cutting myself off, 2 weeks of January. Anyways, guys, but we hope to bring you, a new episode every week, introducing you to a new awesome person. And if you are that awesome person that would love to come in and sit down with us. Or maybe you don't have the ability to come in and sit down with us, but you have the ability, like, hey, we'll call you up and have you, do a podcast, talk to you over the phone. There's so many people that we would love to talk to. And me, I would also genuinely love to learn from you as well, because there is so many just smart people out there. There really is. And if I could encourage all of you young people to do one thing, it's take the time to listen to somebody, because they have so much knowledge and so many people are willing to give you that information, their knowledge at zero cost, other than your time, which we know everyone says, well, time has a cost. And yes, it does. But, keep in mind, there's a lot of great people out there that you can really gain a lot of information from, in that. So I think I'm going to wrap it up. Quick, nice little episode 1, brief introduction. Of course, I'm going to talk to you guys more about what's going to happen in this and my world, and what I'm doing. But I just want to thank you guys very much for taking the time out of your day to just sit down with me and listen to this crazy voice, whether you're listening to this just audio or you're watching the video series on Jeremy's World over on YouTube. So you can also follow us on Jeremy's World 10 on Instagram. And then I'm just plain old Jeremy Johnson on Facebook, as well as Jeremy's World 10 on YouTube, and Jeremy's World 10 on your favorite place where you download podcasts, guys. So this is it. Episode 1. I'm Jeremy Johnson, and I thank you guys for listening. I'll see you guys later.